Hi, welcome to your lab and clinical tutorial. This is just a quick overview in regards to information you should be that should help you with your lab and clinical. This is for your WWCC Nursing Assistant course, NRST 1510 and 1511. Let's move on and get started. So for lab, when you enrolled in the course, you had a corresponding lab. It can't be changed after that. So if you have concerns about dates or times, please get in contact with your instructor ASAP and maybe withdraw from the course, maybe if we have openings somewhere else. There's a lot of maybes that come into play, so when you enroll, we really do stick to the course that you enrolled in. Okay? The attendance for lab is mandatory to pass the course. It is required by the state that you fulfill so many hours to get your license or your certification. So it's not us trying to be mean. You do have to attend so many hours to pass this course. So make sure you have everything lined up when you are at lab. Babysitting, you have taken off work, or you haven't scheduled any meetings, so on and so forth. Make sure that you've planned ahead for lab and clinical. For lab, you can wear regular clothes. We don't expect scrubs to be worn during lab. Make sure they're comfortable clothes, though, because you're going to be lifting and moving and working on a lot of skills. So make sure you're prepared for that. Supplies you might need, it does depend on what site you're going to. So check your Blackboard. The instructor will list other stuff that she wants you to bring if on there. So click on the Lab and Clinical tab to the left-hand side of your screen, and it should list what you need to bring. Stuff that is handy is your watch with your second hand, paperwork that is located under course information, a black pen, and lunch. It depends on your site, again, if you get to leave the facility for lunch or if you have to stay there. So make sure you clarify that during lab. So don't make a plan to have a meeting at noon. You might not be out at noon for a lunch. It might be noon 30, it might be a little bit earlier. Just depends on how the instructor is teaching the skills and how fast your class is moving with those skills. Locations for your lab. If you're taking the Rock Springs course, then it's located in room 1314. If you need directions, stop by the information desk. They can point you to where the nursing lab is. If you park in the west parking lot, do not go in the UW doors. If you go in the other doors, it's going to be the first door on your right when you enter those doors. If you're going to Afton for your lab, then it's in your SVHS room number 224. So Star Valley High School room 224. If you have any questions on locations or confused about where to go, please contact your instructor so you're not lost or late for class. Lab at both facilities does get chilly at times depending on the time of the year, so bring a sweater if you get chilled easy. Just want to point out, like I've pointed out at other videos, that we are not responsible to provide your housing or get you food for your lab or clinical. So you do need to provide your own stuff. If you're traveling, please make arrangements ahead of time so you're not struggling or trying to do that last minute. Cell phones and electronic devices. This is just out of respect, common courtesy, that they are going to be stowed away in your backpack purse. They're not going to be left out on the table so you can check texts during lectures or during skills. Make sure that they're off, on vibrate, and silent and stowed away. You can check them during breaks. Both instructors or all instructors do give breaks throughout lab. So take it out to the hallway and check it. If it's an important phone call, again, excuse yourself and take it out in the hallway so you're not disturbing the rest of the class. Clinical, again, is mandatory. Attendance is mandatory, so make sure you have planned ahead, and especially for housing, food, so on and so forth. You cannot bring children to your clinical. Please use your common sense for all of this. The Rock Springs course is clinical is located at Missionaire Castle Rock. It is in Green River, so make sure you know where you're going. Clinical times are listed on your Blackboard, so if you have the early one or even an evening one, make sure you know where you're going. Maybe do a drive through that area so you're not struggling last minute. The address for location at Castle Rock is 1445 Vienna Drive. However, you have to go around the back, which is left on Indian Hills, and park along the curb in the back of Castle Rock. The employees, staff, and residents use the parking lots, and the parking lots get full really quick depending on if there's activities going on. So they like all students parking along the curb. Make sure you're checking your clinical tab on Blackboard and bringing the required paperwork. Also, black pen, highlighter, things like that are very helpful. So please read again your clinical section on your Blackboard. Afton course, again, read your clinical site information on your Blackboard, but that is located at your Star Valley Care Center, which is address is 110 Hospital Lane. That's located in Afton, Wyoming. Again, make sure you plan ahead and schedule housing if you need that, whether it be contacting the college and seeing if they have availability in the dorms, scheduling a hotel room, or maybe even staying with a friend or family. Dress code for clinical. Make sure that you have your scrubs purchased. That is required for your clinical. You're going to look professional. Underneath your clinical scrubs, make sure you have a plain white shirt if you tend to get cold. Sometimes it does get hot depending on where you're at and where you're doing your scrubs at. Make sure your hair is pulled back, that your tattoos are covered, and that you only have studs in your ears. Following the dress code, which is listed under your course information. So if you have not read that already, go ahead and in course information and read your dress code. Other items to bring, which I already said, is your black pen, your highlighter, your watch with your second hand. Lunch, snack, and a water is very handy. Electronic devices, that includes your phone, need to be stowed away and on silent. I do not suggest you leaving, if you're going to Castle Rock and Green River, leaving it in your purse or your backpack, because we leave our stuff in certain areas and it's not a secure place. And if anything is taken or stolen, WWCC is not responsible for replacing any of the belongings. So I do suggest you leave it in the car. Also, it is Castle Rock's policy that even their employees cannot have their cell phones out when they're working because of HIPAA laws. So if you're going to Afton, please contact your instructor if you have any questions in regards to your cell phone. But at Castle Rock, you're not allowed to have your cell phone invisible or plain sight. So again, I would just leave it in your car. If you have any questions or concerns on your lab and clinical, please contact your instructor ASAP. We can't wait to see you. We think you're going to have a good time and you're going to learn a lot. So be prepared